The annular solar eclipse was visible for about 10 minutes across southern India today. The eclipse, one of the rarest, started in Africa, passed over India, Sri Lanka and Bangladesh before ending in China. Southern parts of India was lucky to observe the outer regions of the sun, but the rest of the country saw just a partial eclipse. The maximum eclipse was at 12:36 p.m. when the annular phase lasted just over 11 minutes. Scientists had warned that viewing the eclipse without proper protection will cause serious damage in the retina of one's eye. Earlier, we spoke to Ndtv-Venkateswaran, scientist, Vigyan Prasar, Department of Science and Technology in New Delhi, who witnessed the annular eclipse in Kanyakumari and shared his experience with us.
See, actually, today the dawn as usual. The sun was in the east as usual. But by about 11 o'clock, you could see that there is something different in the sun. I mean, particularly if you can watch it through a solar filter or through a telescope, you could see that the eclipse begins. Okay, so the sun was giving different images like, the crescent phases of moon for about 2 hours. And then around 11:10, we had this annular solar eclipse beginning. At that time, actually, all the people who were assembled here in the tip of Kanyakumari, about 1,000 children and 100 teachers and large number of public, thousands of public who had gathered at the southern tip of Kanyakumari, were totally thrilled. They were totally amazed to look at the sun, which looked like a diamond bangle. Yeah, I mean, it lasted for about 10 minutes. In between, there were clouds, so there was a fear that maybe the cloud will hide the celestial wonder. But fortunately, the cloud was only for a very brief moment, and so we could actually see the ring eclipse for a long time. I mean, the beginning and the end, we could really see it. It was a very thrilling moment, and all the people were totally excited when they saw the sun in the form of a ring, like a diamond bangle.
That's right. What kind of experiments did you do there?
Vigyan Prasar had organized a number of activities for the children, essentially to promote their scientific attitude. There were a number of confirming experiments that one can do during annular solar eclipse, like, for example, finding out its actual time of occurrence, finding out the period when actually its maximum annularity takes place, and so many things. And then, similarly, ISRO had sent sounding rockets to study the upper atmosphere of Earth, and these experiments were carried out nicely. And because this period we had a clear sky, almost a clear sky, the results expected are nice.
Mr. Venkateswaran, how significant is this eclipse for astronomers?
Yeah, okay. See, number one, I mean, this provides a good opportunity for professional astronomers. If you're talking about professional astronomers, a good opportunity for studying the upper layers of our Earth's atmosphere, because during annularity, the light level is very low. Okay, so what they do is they send a sounding rocket, and then the sounding rocket ejects certain chemicals, basically, coloring agent, which you can photograph from ground-based sensors or cameras. Through that, you can understand upper atmosphere's phenomena. During a normal day, because the sunlight is too bright, even if you do that, I mean, you won't be able to actually capture the patterns of these gases. So you won't be able to easily study them. So that is why they choose an annular solar eclipse to do this kind of activity. And Indian scientists have actually utilized this very well this time.
The sight of a solar eclipse may actually be as quizzical to you as to animals as well as birds. The rare event had got researchers from the National Center of Biological Sciences studying basic animal behavior during the longest solar eclipse of the century.
The spectacular event of the solar eclipse is of awe and wonder to us humans. But what about the little animals and the tiny little insects around us? Do they behave any differently?
Well, perhaps. In Chennai, where the sun was partially covered by the moon for at least 4 hours, a team of enthusiastic individuals got busy studying unusual behavior of animals and birds at the IIT campus. The program Eclipse Watch was a part of a worldwide phenomenon where people observed animal behavior before, during and after the eclipse.
Once this is over, we'll collate the information, put it out on our website, and if we find anything interesting, which I hope we will, we'll put it out as press releases. Everyone who comes to our website and registers is recorded as a registered participant, and we'll email them the results and disseminate the information as any way we can.
While shadows transformed into crescent patterns and the light gradually dimmed, the group did manage to cite a few changes.
We could see some of the, a little bit of unusual pattern in, let's say, open bill stocks. They roost in IIT, for example. They come back around 4:35ish. So the light patterns actually dictate their roosting tendencies. So we could see some of them coming back, for example. So maybe there's some change that we can see in their behavior.
The day's recordings will now be entered by the registered members into the group's website. But for those who've been part of this data collection, it has been a fun way of watching the eclipse and the change it brings about in nature's elements. In Chennai, with camera person John and reporter Evelyn Matthew, Nitila for Ndtv-Hindu.
Still ahead, comic series are now on mobile phones. Stay with us for more on that.